You there, pay attention!
Welcome to Viral History, your weekly fix of all things history.
And we're back here at the Daily Mail Chalke Valley History Festival, and we've got lots more for you to see.
And this time we brought reinforcements.
As well as attending some of the fantastic talks at the festival, we've been getting to know some of the brilliant historical interpreters who've been sharing their knowledge here.
So these two terminals are depressed. It allows the charge to come out. Now that there's no charge in the battery, it can't ignite the primary fuse. So then we can undo the locking ring, which in itself can be tricky, bearing in mind it's underground, full of grit and gravel. And again, with the Crabtree discharger, we draw out the fuse. And there it is, there's the little beauty. And very, very carefully, we remove the gain, remembering that at any moment, this could detonate itself. Now, just the gain itself is sufficient to certainly blow my hand off, and if held in the wrong place, to kill me. So just the gain is a very, very dangerous thing. I can feel the threads almost there, and there it is.
Well, that's very lucky that I'm still in this spot here and not metres over there.
Well, in fragments, yes, jump 50 feet into the air and scatter yourself over a wide area, quite so. So yes, once we have that out, we've got to put it somewhere safe. Now the safest place is in your pocket, frankly, because you know where it is. And at that stage, it's about as safe as handling a bullet, which is probably not going to go bang spontaneously. And this now, the fuse, is as dangerous as a flat battery. We can shake out all the picric acid from the fuse pocket, deal with that separately, and then we can haul out the bomb, which is now relatively safe.
Well, it's wonderful that you're here, actually.
Well,
I feel very reassured that we have you here, Major, so thank you.
Jolly good. Well, thank you very much.
I'll let you get back to your cup of tea.
A cup of tea, of course. The British Army runs on tea, you know.
Thank you.
So the first thing we need to do is just to make sure that there's no impurities or anything in there that's going to just clearing that out. There we go. So the smoother that is when we start, the less work I have to do when we finish. So we'll do both sides. Okay, and then it comes to the laborious. I will have to put a glove on for this because these moulds are getting quite warm now in the as I've used them a few times. And as they don't need to be together too long, so we'll just bind some rope round to hold them together.
And that's all they would have had to work with was rope back?
Pretty much, yeah. Obviously everything was basics because everything you need to carry with you. So the less you had to take, the less room you needed, really. So there we go. That should cover that. We'll stand it in some sand, just in case anything comes over the top, and it would stop the sand going, the lead going off the edge of the table. So here comes the difficult part.
Precision.
Absolutely.
And does the whole load of that amount go inside that?
Most of it. I've got probably twice as much as I'd need there, so I could have two moulds, different size going. We could also use the tongs for smaller ordnance, so we could have a little go as we've got enough lead there to try and make it musket shot. And the mould needs to be a little warmer than it is now, but we might be lucky.
Okay.
So we'll pop that on there to keep it, and then just literally probably 30 seconds. We'll just hold it there. As you can see, the lead's already becoming quite pliable.
It's formed.
So we'll just take the bits off, open that up, and there we go.
Wow.
There's your musket shot. So we just trim off the spur. We'll leave it in the sand. Obviously, you don't want to be handling it at the moment. So we'll pop that there, let it cool, and then we can start making cartridges, pass it out to the musketeers.
Excellent.
So main mould should probably be done by now. So we'll pop the rope off. Fingers crossed.
So how many of these do you think you could make?
I could probably make one, probably two, maybe three an hour, depending on how much work they need after you've finished.
Okay.
So we'll open it up, and there we go.
Wow.
And take it out with some tongs. Now we've got a small loop on the end there. It gives you the option of making chain shot.
Okay.
So you'd have two in the musketoon on the ramp rail of a ship. You'd wire two together, and obviously as they came out they'd extend, spin, and then you'd be looking to take the rigging sails out of ships to slow them down, stop the manoeuvrability, and then you could close and finish them off. But as in this case we don't need that, so we'll just trim that off, and then we'll trim the spur.
It's such a quick process once you've got the mould in.
Absolutely. Once the mould gets warm, they do set really, really quickly. And after that, we've got one here that's cooled. We can then start working the seam with a hammer. I mean, this lead's quite harder than it would have been in the day, so it takes a little more work than it would do then.
But that made such a difference already.
Absolutely. So there we are. We're just taking it down smooth. And we find one that we finished earlier on, which I think is that one there, and there we go.
Very smooth.
Absolutely. So you've taken the spur off and the root, the ring, and that would be ready to use. About £1.25. So one of those coming at you at speed would make a mess.
Damage, yeah.
Absolutely.
So was the idea of the ambulance to take the injured horses off to veterinary care?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah, they would have been collected. So what you've got the double doors and the ramp at the back, so they'd have walked the horse in. And then there's rings either side of the axle, so they could have put a sling under his belly. So if you had an injured leg and you need to take the weight off, they could put a sling underneath just to support the body, the weight.
Okay.
And then if you couldn't actually walk the horse out backwards, or he didn't want to, you can actually take this horse off, take the shafts off, and again, this end you've got the double doors and the ramps. You could walk the horse in one end and out the other. And then if you were in a tight spot, so you couldn't actually turn the vehicle round, it's universal. It's got exactly the same at the back, so you can take the shafts off, put them on the other end, and just walk your horse away.
Well, we've had a lovely few days in this beautiful sunshine and managed to interview some fascinating people.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
And Paul and I will be back at Home Pierpont next week with our normal settings, viral history. And remember,
What's past is prologue.
Right then, girls, buckle up. Onwards!